Hey, what's going on, guys? What is up? Tis I, tis me, tis we, the Vengimon Craft. And I am trying something new today. As you could probably tell by the title, I'm going to try and do a new series, if you guys want, where not instead of just dueling or playing Pokemon, I'm going to try and do something that I actually really enjoy doing, which is power scaling. And what power scaling is it is essentially taking a fictional or real character, but in my case, fictional, and kind of trying to calculate how strong they are and just how powerful they are, I guess. Hold on, let me turn the sound up on this real quick. I'm, I'm so sorry. Okay, just turned it up a little bit. So, we're going to start today with a character that Uh, let's just say I've seen a lot of debate about. So this might be less of a power scaling video, more about a debate video, but I'm talking about the God of Destruction of the seventh universe, Lord Beerus. This purple cat looking motherfucker. So essentially, what I'm going to be going over today is just some of his abilities, his power, and I will be using references from the manga, the anime, and the movies, as all three, I believe, have very good points to bring. Even if some of them are slightly different, they still have enough that I think it matters to talk about. And I will be attempting to kind of prove a point here, specifically the point of Goku and Vegeta and other characters among them being stronger than Beerus. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, Beerus is was called the God of Destruction for those of you who don't know Dragon Ball. Essentially, he is a god in one of the universes, the seventh universe, the main universe for the story, and his job is to go around and destroy anything that brings a threat to the universe, essentially. And just after that, he just kind of does whatever he wants because most of the time, Beerus isn't doing his job. He's kind of just loafing around, sleeping, eating, and he is easily by his own words one of and by the words of Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, one of the strongest fighters ever shown. And at the time of his release, well, at the time of his appearance, he was the strongest fighter outside of Whis, the angel who trained him. So we're going to quickly go over some of his abilities, and I will be using uh, I will be using the Dragon Ball fandom page for part of it because I feel like it's easier just to see this. And now I know some of these are shown to be differently, although, and some of the sources are going to be a little weird. But overall, I think that this page is accurate and will just overall be a good source. So he has some of the basic abilities, such as flight, key, the ability to mess with key. Some of these don't completely matter. Such as the possession. I mean, it matters, but not necessarily for his power. The poison immunity doesn't really matter. Key immunity, that matters a little bit. So, essentially, in the movie, he claims that normal key has no effect on him. So, characters like Piccolo, Krillin, uh, Gohan, they could not hurt Beerus via his own words, to be fair, in the movie because they are not strong enough unless they are a god, such as God Goku, God Vegeta, and so on. Although I think this is pretty loose, seeing as there are characters that are extremely stronger than them or on par with them that I think could theoretically defeat them. Now, I'm not saying that, or hurt him anyway. I'm not saying that I think characters like Hit could just come up and kill Beerus, but I think that this is kind of an awkward place. So we'll just keep going. This doesn't matter. Powerful lungs, it just lets him breathe in space. Not that big of a deal. Well, can be, but Longevity doesn't matter. This this is a very important part of his character. If the Supreme Kai, who is basically the quote unquote ultimate god of his universe, dies, that being a character named Shin, then they both die. But I will not be using this as kind of like an out to killing Beerus because I feel like that's a very cheap out and not one that is very well known. Sorry, guys. Not feeling the best today. He uses his tail a lot to fight, which is something that actually somewhat matters. This is one of the big things. Autonomous Ultra Instinct, essentially also known as Ultra Instinct Sign. He essentially can move without thinking. He lets his body react how he wants, but it is not perfect. He is not good at it yet. So, like how Goku in Ultra Instinct could dot when he first awakened it, could just walk through and dodge everything that the Topo, Dispo, and somewhat Jiren threw at him. Beerus can do the same, although he's not great at it. He is just good at it. He doesn't have it to the level that Goku has it yet. And he still can't attack with it. He only can use it so far for defensive purposes, which is important. Most of these are just different attacks they use, such as the giant ball that he used or threatened to use. He does use pressure point attacks, which is important because that is a very good way to fight certain characters. It is how he beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, etc. A bunch of different things. I'm looking specifically for one attack, unless here it is, Hakai. Essentially, Hakai is an ability that he has as the God Destruction, which lets him destroy anything, including gods and ghosts. He essentially has destruction, or as it says below, energy of destruction. It lets him essentially just do what he can kill anyone anytime he wants, with exceptions like Zeno, the god of gods. But I digress. We're mainly talking about him against other characters such as Jiren, Goku, etc. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Hakai isn't busted as shit. He literally he's used it to kill Zamasu, a character who eventually, in my opinion, the worst arc in possibly all of Dragon Ball, but I digress. He used it to kill a weaker form of the main villain of that season, but still an impressive feat. And essentially what it does is it erases you into nothing. However, there are a couple different ways that Hakai has been used. Beerus uses it by just getting close and kind of point blanking him, but he can shoot it as an orb and even give it to other people. As I believe it was the universe. It wasn't Universe 9. Maybe Universe 2? One of the other universes in the Tournament Power arc gave one of his henchmen the energy of destruction to try and kill Goku and Frieza, and it didn't work. That's one thing. If you are strong enough, you can just simply overpower the energy of destruction. It is a very difficult thing to do, and is not. It's only been seen a couple of times, if you count Goku escaping it with the assistance of Beerus as him doing it. But it also comes down to the individual power of the God Destruction. And then the rest is just other important attacks, such as the Cataclysmic Orb, one of his world-ending attacks, cloning, just a bunch of other, not random crap, but important abilities. So now let's get into the bread and butter of this, which is going to be... Oh, and then technically I guess I should go over Enraged. Essentially, what this is when he gets pissed off enough, he is by the words of Whis, strong enough to kill the entire, I believe it was the entire universe or the entire galaxy, or a galaxy, or was it a solar system? Either way, when he gets pissed enough, he is strong enough to just wipe out multiple planets at once. He is a very strong character who should not be underestimated, but I do not think he's as strong as I know some people claim him to be. So here, real quick, is a somewhat description of Ultra Instinct as claimed by Whis. In the manga, all the gods of destruction basically have a big sparring match. At this point, Ultra Instinct is not identified yet. We don't know what it is. But Whis claims, and by his words, his body is reacting and dodging on its own. He is, thus far in the fight, been able to dodge multiple attacks from other gods of destructions from other universes. But, as he says right here, he isn't perfect. It is not complete, so he can still be hit. Now, we're going to get into a couple of the lines. So I originally had a video for this, but I felt like it wasn't necessary. Right here is a description of his character and what he's done in the anime and manga. He's easily able to destroy planets, a lot of different shit. But the main line I wanted to focus on was, and this is in the manga and the anime, he claims, after beating Vegeta, that he used 10% of his power. This was a Vegeta who was in Super Saiyan, not God Blue, not Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan. Or Super Saiyan 2. It's 2. My bad. I forgot that he was in 2. But he was pissed off to the point where his power increased to the point that Beerus pulled out this much energy against him. And in this next line, or was it? Sorry, I had a line somewhere. Films. Here it is. At the end of the fight in the film, after Beerus had fought Super Saiyan God Goku, and this was, keep in mind, the first time he had ever used God mode, not God Blue, which theoretically is stronger, but we'll get to that. Super Saiyan God, he used 70% or near 70% of his power. He did not use Ultra Instinct, supposedly, or at least it wasn't claimed to have been used, but 70% of his power in a weaker form than a form that we will be getting into later. So, even if he was bullshitting, let's say that he used about 50% of his power. I don't think that Whis would even, or if you want to say this isn't correct, we'll keep two calculators up. This will be the movie calculator. And this is going to be lowballing and saying about 65%, because he did say near 70. And this will be the regular calculator. So he used 10%, or the anime and manga, if you don't think that the movie is canon. Or not canon, but not reliable. He says he used 10% of Vegeta. Let's even bullshit that and say he used 8. Because I don't think he used as low as 5 or 2%, but that will matter later. Against God Goku. Well, actually, you know what? That lets us go straight into, where's Super Saiyan? We're going to go into the power levels real quick. So, right here we see Frieza Saga, and I know power levels don't matter, but it matters for this. Goku in the Frieza Saga to the Super Saiyan, his transformation to Super Saiyan goes from 3 million to 150 million. That is a 50 times power boost. Now, most people that I know of are in agreement that each Super Saiyan evolution is about a 50 times power boost, except for maybe God. God is claimed, do I have it right here? Yeah. God is claimed to be the strongest form of Super Saiyan. So, Super Saiyan 2, which Vegeta used, is essentially 50 times his original power level. And Beerus used 10%. God is the strongest form that we have seen in the canon storyline up to this point, up to the point of Beerus' introduction where he fights God Goku. And it says right here, the power is enough for him to complete against a non-fully powered up God Destruction. Effortlessly defeated Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Rage Charged Vegeta. But here is the... So he is already having to fight harder than Vegeta. So let's say he doesn't even have to fight that hard in the manga. And he goes up another 10%. So we're at 18% of his full power. Manga and anime-wise. Oh, shit. Anyway, it says right here, the fists colliding is enough for them to destroy the universe. That would most likely mean that they would have to be at equal power when their fists collide. Now, that's not saying that Beerus has gone full power, but it is a very important part of it. So Goku, at this first time he's ever used this form and is adapting to it, reaches about, again, let's say 15 to 20% total. I'm going to stick with 18% on the calculator, but that's 15 to 20% of his full power. Because I do think at this point that the 65 to 70% by the end of this fight is a little suspect. Sorry about that. That's my roommate. He's playing League. So at this point, we're not going to use the movie calculator because I feel like this is going to be the bigger, thing for us to use. And I would like to state this: Dragon Ball Super's power scaling is fucking insane because they bring up the most random shit and it doesn't make any sense. I'll make more videos about Dragon Ball characters any day of the fucking week if you guys want, because it's fun as shit for me, but my god, Super is a mess. So next we're going to go into Blue. Super Saiyan Blue. It is the Super Saiyan form of Super Saiyan God. And it states right here that according to the Extreme Budokan, Super Saiyan Blue is the most powerful of all Super Saiyan transformations. And it says right here, the form pushes the user's power, strength, and speed to new heights beyond those of previous Super Saiyan levels, as well as a calm mind that make it and its ki easier to control compared to other Super Saiyan forms such as 3 and God. So, instead of letting their ki kind of just leak out everywhere and keep their power up, they're able to control their ki and keep their power up. Ki being the energy that is used in Dragon Ball to fight. Now, the big thing about this is, and I will state this, it is stated that God can theoretically become stronger than Blue. God is, I don't know if I don't have the scan anymore or the wording, but God theoretically, it is used more for movement, while Blue is used more for striking. It is stated in both the anime and manga. Now, so Blue is already again stronger, so I don't know exactly how much stronger it is, but even if we want to do a times 50, let's say that Beerus would be using about 40 to 50%. Let's say about 50%. 50% power, because it is even claimed, I don't remember if this is in the movie and the manga, by Whis, that if Goku and Vegeta work together, they could challenge Beerus. Not necessarily defeat him, but make it a challenge. And then we get to the Tournament of Destroyers arc. We meet Hit, this character who decimates Blue Vegeta and forces Goku to use Kaioken on top of Blue. In fact, this is Kaioken times 20. Now, for those of you who don't know, Super Saiyan does multiply your power, but it still kind of I know this is going to sound weird. It multiplies it, but it doesn't stay stagnant. There are some abilities that will add to your power, Kaioken multiplies your power. And Goku, and it states right here, Kaioken times 3 and above all consistently multiply the user's power by the respective multipliers. So Goku, let's pull up another calculator real quick. Here's the Beerus calculator, 50% to fight Goku. So Goku in Kaioken times 2 blue is about 100% of his power theoretically. Goku in Super Saiyan Blue times 20 is 1,000% of Beerus's power. This is why Super doesn't make any sense. And I hope that I know I've been talking fast and just kind of been all over the place, but here's my main point. It would take Beerus to be less than it would take Beerus to specifically be less than 2% of his power in the original fight against Red Goku for him to be stronger than Kaioken times 20 Goku, who is not the strongest form of Goku, technically, because Ultra Instinct exists. So that means any characters that can go toe-to-toe with Blue Goku can theoretically be stronger than Beerus. Well, Kaioken times 20. Characters like that, such as Hit, Golden Frieza, if I can hear the argument for Golden Frieza at least. Broly is another one that you can hear an argument for. Jiren, which I know is kind of obvious since people think Jiren can wipe out the entirety of the cast, but I digress. Vegeta, who has a form similar to Kaioken times 20 Super Saiyan Blue, that being Royal Blue or Azure, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, his Super Saiyan Blue evolved. That also means Topo, since he could go up against that Vegeta, not necessarily win against it, but is theoretically possible. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Beerus is fucking weak. He's not. He is still one of the strongest characters in the Universe 7, and just in general. But he is not nearly as OP as everyone states. Now, if you have other arguments, other characters you want me to do, I'd be glad to hear it, and I would love to see you guys maybe dispute with me, because I like having nice arguments. I like having debates. However, I believe that the data that I provided shows that Beerus, while one of the strongest characters that we've seen in a long time, is not nearly as strong as everyone says. Because if anything shows it, it's the math. Anything that is Kaioken times 20 level and above, or even near it, is very likely to defeat Beerus. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I haven't bored you guys to death, and I hope that my rambling isn't that annoying. You guys have a nice day. Like and subscribe, and comment down below if you want to see me do any more characters. Hopefully I'll actually know who the fuck I'm talking about, and yeah, have a good one.